Welcome to day 3 of the 5 days of no buys. It is Saturday when you're watching this, or if you're watching it when I posted it live. And this little series is to help me and help you not feel like we need to buy anything this weekend. If you have already planned to make purchases this weekend or Black Friday, that's great. But if you are, I hope you are making the right choices, and I hope that you are only spending what you have budgeted for. And you are obviously still welcome here as well. The whole kind of premise of this is I'm doing like 5 days of get ready with me's in a row. Gets ready with is it like cul-de-sac? Gets ready with me's? Get ready with me's? Ready's with me's.
It's cul-de-sac.
No way!
It is.
Plural of cul-de-sac is cul-de-sac?
Yep.
This doesn't even sound like English.
Just to like show myself that I don't need any new makeup. I was scrolling through Instagram and one of HINDASH's beautiful tutorials popped up on my feed, and I thought, let's do a HINDASH tutorial. And he normally works on very beautiful models. Not that I'm not a beautiful model. And I am available. The fun thing about looking at makeup artists and the way that they do makeup is that they'll do things that you might not ever try to do or not ever think to do. So there was one particular technique that I wanted to try. I'm not sure I'm going to like it, but we're going to try it. And that's the beauty of makeup. I might try this thing today and it might not work out, and that's totally fine. It wasn't an in-depth tutorial. Like, he didn't do skin in this video or anything. So I'm going to make up some portions and then I'll follow the tutorial-ish from there. So we'll start with complexion. If there's one thing I know about Daddy, if there's one thing I know about HINDASH is that he loves Augustinus Bader. In fact, I think my most liked anything I've ever done on Instagram is a comment on one of his posts where he was using only Augustinus Bader as skin prep. And I said, this skin prep called me poor. And that's another thing about HINDASH is that he's like very into skin prep. I don't find like skincare that exciting. I was just thinking about this right before I started filming. Is like the reason I don't use a lot of like devices is because my bathroom is really small. Also, I feel like I shouldn't keep my devices a place where it gets like humid and gets steamy. And so I don't keep my products there. Where am I supposed to do it? Because my room is 2 floors away from my bathroom. What do you like? I'm not coming down here to do my device and then going back upstairs to finish my skincare. I also don't want to do my skincare at my vanity because that's not convenient. Anyway, that's just not something I luxuriate in. I do have this. This is Victoria Beckham Cell Rejuvenating Primer, and it's a collab. I actually don't really know the history behind like the Victoria Beckham and the Augustinus Bader of it all, but I figured this would be a perfect primer to use in a HINDASH tutorial follow along because it is technically Augustinus Bader, and not to brag, but to brag a little bit, HINDASH follows me on Instagram. Whenever I made a reel or something about the Victoria Beckham concealer, he like messaged me. He was like, do I need it? And I said, yes. I won't do that to one of you people who watch my channel, normal people. But did I think that HINDASH needed it? Yes, I did. And I wielded my power, and I think he did end up buying it. He never followed up. So HINDASH, if you're watching, let me know. Okay. And since I just mentioned it, we'll use the Victoria Beckham concealer. It also has ingredients from Augustinus Bader. I would put this all over my face, but I don't really feel like doing that today. And what we're trying to do and achieve with the skin is something very skin-like. And I think that this concealer is really skin-like, but I think just looking at the model, not that she has like imperfections or a ton of imperfections, but like you can really see her skin through the Complexion products. I'm going to just kind of follow suit there and allow my skin to look the way it looks, sort of. I mean, I'm still going to be applying product. I'm also going to apply this on my nose. This is Sleep Blur Expert. This is a nose primer. And I talked about this in a video recently that there was like hard pan on this. And I just took some tape to it and it came right off. And if I had to guess what the hard pan was from, it was probably from when I was trying to use it as a face, like a setting powder. The oils from the makeup got in there. But since I've been using it on my nose, I haven't noticed like any new hard panning. So hopefully that's resolved the issue there. I also, before I put on foundation, I'm going to use this as like a second primer. This is the Phytosurgeon's Spectral Shine in Divine Daylight. Now, I have in recent videos been showing you this over top of my foundation, but before I put on my cheek products. But I think this might make the most sense to do now. So yeah, did I use 3 primers today? Yeah, and listen, what did I say about HINDASH? He loves a skin prep moment. So I'm just trying to like blur my skin like a little bit before I put on the complexion product I'm going to use today. And for complexion today, I'm going to use the Lisa Eldridge skin tint. I believe that HINDASH and Lisa Eldridge are like friends. I don't know a lot about their lore, but he actually uses the Lisa Eldridge product in this tutorial that I don't have. But I have this one. So this is like my honoring that. The thing about this skin tint is I think it actually has like quite a bit of coverage for being a skin tint. So I'm going to try to apply a rather thin layer of this to achieve the same kind of skin look that the model had. The model and I do not have the same skin, so like I'm not expecting it to look exactly the same, but I don't want much more coverage than a skin tint. I was too lazy to shave my eyebrows today, so I have a little eyebrow stubble, and we're all just gonna let that be what it is, okay? I haven't used the skin tint in a while, and it is very good. Giving me the coverage I want. It's just like blurring the skin a little bit, but ultimately I would say that my skin still looks like skin. The redness on the high point of my cheek is still coming through a little bit because I thought about really doing like perfect skin and like pulling out color corrector and everything, but like that's literally not how the model's skin looks at all. So I'm just following in Dash's footsteps here. And I actually believe that the tutorial I'm following is like a part 2. I think he says at the beginning, it's like you take it from day to night. Hindash's voice is so calming. And I'm left to wonder, now that I have met some influencers in real life and like know their real personalities versus their online personalities, I just wonder, I just wonder. Although I did say something very silly on my Instagram stories and he replied to it. So I do, in my heart of hearts, I believe that Hindash is a silly, goofy guy. And we love silly, goofy people over here on this channel. I'm a little bit tired today. Yesterday was Thanksgiving as I'm filming. And so you're seeing this the day after I'm filming. Guess who really had good intentions of being really prepared for 5 days of no buys and then wasn't. We're kind of leaving things here for now. So we're gonna start with the eyes because we're gonna have to do a wing. I'm gonna have to do a wing. I'm gonna have to do a wing. And I'm not very like skilled in wings. And so this will allow me to be able to clean up if I like really mess up. So the first thing he does is uses his liquid shadow in the shade Carve, which I don't own. Did I try to get it for the contour video? Yeah, I did. And I still didn't. And then whenever Indash's brand announced that they were doing a Black Friday sale, did I aggressively message Indash and say, how do I get my hands on boy tears? You make new relationships and you break them just as fast, at least if you're me. Where's my lip plumper? So I don't have any matte liquid eyeshadows. I only recently came into sparkly liquid eyeshadows that I have. So I'm actually just gonna use his palettes. So he does eventually go into one of these two. This one. I think he goes into the center of this top one, or maybe it's the center of Match Made. I'll have to watch the Instagram reel again.
Then with my Monochromance gradient palette, I'm going in with the shape Match Made and really swirling these colors together for that soft, warm contour.
Okay, upon reviewing the footage, I've never encountered the shade Carve in real life. I think I thought it was a little bit lighter than using Match Made. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to prep my eyes as I usually would. So I'm going to use the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base. He doesn't talk about using an eyeshadow base. I don't know if he does, but my eyelids are pretty oily and I'll be meeting new people this evening. So I'm going to give myself a fighting chance of my eye makeup holding up. Here's a beautiful point to make as we are following along with Hindash's tutorial, but I'm like diverting a little bit here. If you watch someone do their makeup, but you're like following along with them, you don't have to follow them beat by beat to get the same effect or the exact same thing, and you don't need the products that they're going to use. I know my eyelids are oily. I know that I need something to be tacky, but also improve the longevity of formulas on my eyes. While Hindash's video doesn't account for that, I know that, and I can account for that. And I know that's like not a big diversion, but I don't think it can hurt to remind you of that. So I'm going in to the lighter shade Alter Ego. I'm going to go into this leg side, and I'm just going to sweep it all over just to kind of set the base and give us time, real estate for the other shadows to glide over. You know what's so fun? I love these palettes. I always like wonder if I'm making any progress in them, but a couple of these shades have some good dents going. Small dents, but there are dents nonetheless, and I love to see it. Now, for the contouring of the eyes, I'm gonna go into the Made side of Match Made, and I'm gonna use that to contour my eyes, and we'll see if it's dark enough, but that way I'll be able to use the combo as a transition and like a blend it a little bit more. I literally wiped off that brush and there was still sparkle on it from God only knows when. Very cool. This would never happen to Hindash. And you know, this would never ever happen to Hindash. That's what being a professional is. And I'm not. The big difference between me and the model is that the model had like beautiful, gorgeous, large eye sockets, and I just don't have that. That's just not a quality of my face. So I'm really making it up here. It was looking a little too dark, so I'm taking a larger fluffy brush and kind of just going over what I just did to make it a little bit lighter. If I had to do this with a cream eyeshadow, I've obviously never used Carve from him. I don't know. I feel like every time I use a liquid shadow, I like have no control over it. With those new Armani liquid shadows or the re-promote of those new Armani liquid shadows when I bought one, it's actually like quite easy to use. Wow, that's really dark right there. I thought that was just the shadow of my face. I'm basically essentially doing what he did with the mix of Match Made with Alter and Ego because I don't know. I just feel like the Carve shade, like I don't have a concept of what it is. So I'm just trying to make it a seamless kind of like blend. I think we've achieved it here. The shade Made in this palette, I would actually use that for like the deepest shade in an eye look, just for my coloring. Like, of course, I'll use something darker than that sometimes. I wouldn't pull a shade this dark as far over on the lids usually. Unlike the longevity situation, I want to try it. Where is all this sparkle coming from? I don't know about her. I don't know where she came from. I really love working with Hindash's eyeshadows though. I haven't used them in quite some time. I don't know what's going on right here with like my eye. It's not from this. It's like, it's probably a skincare thing. I'm gonna apply a little bit of the foundation product over top of it. Seems a little bit raw as I've been pushing the blending brush over it. It's not loving that. It could be just the fact that I'm wearing makeup so many days in a row, which is also a possibility, but it also could be from shaving my eyebrows. So I think I'm caught up so far. I'm gonna refer back. I forgot to bring it under my eye, which I don't often do this because my eyes are pretty small and sometimes this can like close them off. He doesn't go all the way to the inner corner, so I think I should be okay. One time I did, wow, this is a long time ago. This was like maybe in 2020, there was like a trend going on where people were doing like inverted eyeshadow, and I tried it and it just made my eyes look so heavy. Like, do you see how like that really pulls my eyes down? Although I wasn't as precise. So I'm gonna clean it up a little. Like if I do something underneath my eyes, I feel like I have to keep it pretty close to like the direct under my eye because I don't know, it just like brings my face down and I think it makes me look unwell. It's just like my eyes can't handle it, which is why most of the time I just put liner in the waterline and like that's normally like my lower line shadow. The next part I can actually do. He goes into Doll Dynasty, which is his highlighter, and I have it, and he takes his finger and he applies it on the lid as an eyeshadow, which I can certainly do. I know, I love putting on eyeshadow with my finger, and I'm not even being facetious. Now, technically, Doll Dynasty is still in the testing drawer, but I figured for the purposes of today's video that we would all be okay with me pulling it out because, while again, you don't need to go product for product, it's like I do have it, and I would like to use it. I would probably, and I just really brazenly put that on my face, probably have benefited from putting on a glitter primer. But there's like glitter all over my face. I'm not really sure why because this is the first shimmering product that I use. And then he used it as the inner corner highlight and he also brought it down under the eye a little bit. And then he next uses liquid brown liner. I don't really use liquid liner. The Victoria Beckham, I guess they're satin kajal liners. And I have the shade Cocoa. And my thought process here is take Cocoa and then also a liner brush, if I can find it. I always lose this. And try to make my own wing. So like I literally gonna take this liner brush and I'm gonna grab product from the tip of the pencil classic. One wing is larger than the other. So now I have to try to make them even. So here's the eye. Not a liquid liner, but I feel like, we got there. I'm going to fill in just a little bit. One thing I love about Hindash, by the way, he's not like naming the products that he's using, but he doesn't have a liquid liner. As I'm fairly certain his hero liner, hero liner. I'm not actually sure like how he pronounces it. The hero liner, I believe, only comes in black. Hindash uses false lashes, and I can't be fucked to put on a false lash, so I'm gonna throw on just some mascara. And he doesn't use strip lashes. He only put them on the outside of the lash. So what I'm gonna try to do is with the mascara, like make sure I pull up and get the most drama. Well, of course I got it everywhere. The outer portion of my lashes, and maybe not focus so much product on the inner corner. You know what's so funny is like I actually have not had this problem with this mascara until this video of it getting all over my eyelids. In fact, I had done a pretty good job not getting it everywhere. And then today, of course it doesn't do to this side at all. What happened? I'm gonna take a breather for a second, let that dry, and then scrape off all the mascara that got on my lid, my beautiful lid. I scraped that off and then I applied just a little more of the highlighter to my eyes. Well, just this eye because it was like I felt like it scraped off enough where it like looked duller than the other eye. But actually, I haven't done like a cute little cat wing in a while. So I'm actually kind of very pleased with the way this is looking. I think Hindash had applied bronzer and contour to her face or like whatever he applied to her face in the video where he was doing the daytime look. Actually, I'll just use his products. I'm gonna set my face a little bit and then apply the bronzer. And for the bronzer, I'm gonna tap into these two in his Monochromance palette. I'm not trying to really overdo it with the bronze, adding a little bit of dimension because the model doesn't really have like a strong bronze or kind of contour going on, and he doesn't add to it. So we're really kind of focusing on the blush shade, and he uses like a bright pink cream blush. And I do have a bright cream pink blush. This is from Lukey Lukey, and it is the shade Cosmo Flush. So I'm going to apply a little bit of that. This might be a little too cool toned. I feel like the pink that he used in his video was warm toned. Or I started doing it my way. I like to take blush up over my eye, but he did not do that. I'm going to take my concealer brush and kind of like tap over it a little bit because I think that this blush is a little too strong. I went in a little too hard. I was like, we're doing nighttime. We're doing nighttime and it needs to be powerful. I don't think it's reading as black, like as bold as it is on camera. It's so funny because I like forget which brush I used today for foundation. And then he takes a very fluffy highlighting brush and applies Doll Dynasty. I'm just going to stick to the lighter side. The darker side of Doll Dynasty really pulls on me, but he really just kind of like dusted that on. He like did it down the forehead, down the nose. My neck and décolleté are a little bit covered up today. And then he used what looked like to me, he didn't say which brand it was, but it looked like the Pat McGrath pink blurring powder. And he just like gently set the center of the face. So I'm just going to take my Chantecaille Perfect Blur. And I haven't set my face otherwise. So this is like a rare occasion for me. You know how much powder I like to use. I'm kind of like obsessed with how this pink cheek is looking with like the warmer eye and the warmer highlight. I kind of love that. I know a lot of people play with warm and cool, but normally to keep it simple for me, I don't usually mess with that. Okay, we're looking cute. So then he does a lot of stuff with lips. So he uses a red liner. I don't have a red lip liner. All of my lip liners are brown because I wear brown lip. We're gonna have to improvise here. I'm gonna try to use this Confessions lipstick from Hourglass as like my lip liner. I don't know what happened down here. This is why I'm on makeup. I do this all the time. I'll try to clean up my lip with a finger that I've already cleaned up my lip with. And guess what? I just smear lipstick exactly where I didn't want lipstick to be smeared. I mean, it's okay to make mistakes, but I hate making mistakes. A character flaw, I guess, at this point. My chair is sinking. I like how I'm trying to do like this reinterpretation of a Hindash look and like not like everything's going on that feels pretty dramatic, but I'm like, does it have to be like this today? Survey says probably. I mean, it's what's it's what's happening. Then he uses a burgundy lip liner, which let's all just, I don't have one. I think Chestnut from MAC, because it is a pretty intense lip line. I think that this will do. So I'm gonna then kind of just put this over top. It's kind of what he looked like he was doing in the video. I was kind of blending them together, mostly to make the brown appear more red. Then he puts Lisa Eldridge's lipstick all over. I don't have a matte bullet lipstick, but I have this one from the Lip Bar. I think it's called Boss Lady. Kind of a sleigh, but we're not done with the lips yet because we are going to make them even more matte. He scrapes some of the red from Love Kills in Beautopsy, and then he taps that powder. That's the eyeshadow from Beautopsy, tapped off, scraped off, and I'm just gonna press this into my lips. That was what I was actually the most interested in trying, was pressing the powder into the lipstick. I think not that there's any problems, but I think what I'm running into here is that the red I used was a little too blue-based, and, like, Kills from the Beautopsy palette is more of, like, a orange red, and also it's so matte. That's what he says in the tutorials, like, for ultra matteness, but, like, a matte liquid lipstick is enough matte for me. I don't need extra matte. Like, I like the red, brown, red lip combo. Wow. It's very like old Hollywood glam, isn't it? It's like a look that I would never really usually do. But I think that's it. That's it. This is the look. This is the final look. What do you think? How did I do? Do I look like her? I mean, I don't look like her, but how do you think I did following along? I would say my takeaway is maybe I should do more structured wings. Like it's the cat eyes, the cute little wing is so cute. I really love how simple and effective this eyeshadow look is. I'm so into like two eyeshadow shades, but just doing the one as a crease and then, I blended it out a little bit with other shades, but it's mostly just that one shade, which is like all over the outer corner. And then the wing is really like the deepening of the outer corner. It's so pretty. I like love this eye look. I also think using Doll Dynasty as an eyeshadow is really pretty. I have used Liluna as an eyeshadow and I didn't love it as much. I think this is a lot prettier as an eyeshadow. Oh, wow. And then obviously it's a beautiful highlight. I loved the I mean, I don't think he really did this, but I like the cooler tone blush with like the warmer eye. I like this. The matte lip, no, I wouldn't be putting powder on my lips. That's like not for me. Unless I was gonna put a gloss on top, but that would defeat the purpose of putting the powder on at all. So I'm not gonna be putting a gloss on. But like I actually really like this. I think it's really pretty. Hindash, thank you for making me feel pretty, even though you didn't do any of this and it was really incredibly frustrating process. Just me sinking as I'm trying to clean up my lip line. This is trauma. There's no better content than me putting my trauma out online. And I think we've learned that together today. We don't have favorite brands on this channel, but like Hindash, if I had a favorite brand, Hindash is one of them, you know? I love these palettes. Anytime I get to pull them out and play with these palettes, I just have so much fun. And then, I think I made it very clear that his highlighter formula is like top tier for me. I normally use the other one on camera, but this feels so pretty. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you are staying strong and not buying anything if your plan was not to buy anything. Staying strong if you had a budget for this weekend, and I hope you're sticking to your budget. Or if you have all the money in the world and spending it all, and I hope you're having a good time spending all the money in the world. I can't live like you, but I'm happy that you're able to. So I hope you are having fun doing your makeup with me. I'm sorry if I came off a little bit frustrated in this video. I'm, like, tired. Thanksgiving was last night, so it's just, like, a confluence of there's always a confluence of events, isn't there? And what there will be a confluence of events. Hindash, thank you for letting me use you for content. I didn't ask, I just did it. So thank you for being here spiritually, metaphorically. Thank you to you and Charlotte Tilbury for giving birth to me. As you all know, those are my parents. Anyway, if you're new to my channel and this was the first video you watched, wow, thank you so much for watching. My channel is about loving my makeup collection as it currently is and helping myself and help you be more discerning about the makeup that we're buying. The little project that I'm doing here is kind of proof, not proof, but like a very good indication of what I try to do. I get to try things for review, I buy things for review, but always under the lens of like, do I actually think this is worth money? There's a lot of good makeup out there, but is it the best makeup? Is it the makeup that I think is worth your money? Is really what I try to figure out when I am reviewing products. So I'd love to have you subscribe if you aren't already. I'm on Patreon and I have channel memberships. It's the same on both websites. And if you are going to join them, I would say join them from a computer or your internet browser as opposed through the App Store. There's a surcharge if you do it that way. But what I do over there is an additional video every month. Doesn't matter what amount you are supporting me at, everyone gets that video. And if you aren't able to or just simply don't want to join my Patreon, that's fine. I'm so happy that you are here. There's no pressure to ever join my Patreon or channel memberships. If you are liking, commenting, and sharing my content, that's the best thing you could do for me, and I appreciate that. I have a pinned comment down below. It's linked to help families in Gaza through Operation Olive Branch. If you have the means to support them, please support them. And that's going to wrap up the video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to follow your hope, and you'll find me. And I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth to doubt.